I'm super excited. Thank you all for being here. Episode 15 of Live with Heidi. As you know, every single week, guys, I'm bringing on a new guest. Someone who not only brought me and brings me inspiration, hope, light, knowledge, tips, tactics, all things to help me better my life. But these are people who have overcome trials and challenges and difficult times in their own lives. And they've come back from these things even better and even stronger than before. And my hope, guys, is with every single episode that you'll use this time. You'll listen, you'll learn, you'll take notes, you'll really dig deep into what every single guest is teaching, especially today's. Then you'll use these takeaways, go out and dominate your life the way that I know you can. You know, and one way you can actually apply what you're learning, we talk about this every week, is to share with others. And for those of you that have been sharing, you know this. When you share, you have 5 times more, you're 5 times more likely to actually retain the information that you share. So please take screenshots, record videos, share this information. When the episodes go live, take those episodes, share them, because there's so much wisdom. And guys, please use the hashtag Live with Heidi. Please tag me, please tag my guest. We will repost if I see it. I'm really bad, but I will do my best to repost. I'm not on Instagram all day like some of you guys might appear. And remember, guys, these are very informal conversations with my special guest and with you. We want you. We encourage you to be a part of the conversation. The more a part of it you are, the more you will get out of it. So please comment. You see the sidebar over here. Please comment what you're learning. Share those aha moments. Share the things that matter the most. And okay, we good? Derek had to do something. Please share those things that matter the most. Ask questions. I will see your questions. And engage. Very, very important. Please engage, guys. All right. Today's guest of episode 15 is Andy Dooley. I'm super excited to have Andy. Andy, for those of you that don't know, is a sponsored fitness celebrity trainer. He's a family man. He has a beautiful wife and 4 amazing kids. One is a brand new little baby. He's so cute. Andy's also an Amazon best-selling author of Walk in Faith devotional for teen guys. He's a Guinness World Record holder, which is kind of a big deal. Andy, if you're watching this, I did not know you were a Guinness World Record holder. We're going to talk about that. He's a blogger. He's an incredible content creator. And he's the founder of Do Work, which inspires and motivates people to take their gifts from acceptable to exceptional. He's been in the fitness industry for over 10 years, and he became the face of Reebok in 2016, which we'll talk about. And he's a men's health contributor, including filming, writing, and programming workouts for the magazine. Andy's heart for people is evident in his committed involvement in his local community, in his church, as a member, as a mentor for the high school students, and a pastor. I love Andy so much. He's absolutely incredible. Chris and I both have been blessed to know Andy for about 5 years. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. It actually has something to do with what I spoke about in the intro. Andy lives what he speaks. He's an incredible guy, has insane integrity. He is very vulnerable, and I really, really, really admire vulnerability in somebody. I also love, one thing I love watching with Andy is his workouts that he does with his kids on Instagram. Truly an inspiration. We're going to bring Andy on in a second. We're having slight Wi-Fi difficulties. Should we bring him on my screen over here? Andy, we're going to bring you on. Give me 2 seconds. D-Rock is helping me out. Oh. Maybe we'll be interviewing myself in just a minute. Guys, okay, so while we are getting these technical difficulties worked out, I want to know, I'm going to take this time. We're going to pause for a second because we're trying to get Andy on. What do you guys want to know? Why don't you ask me some questions while we're sitting here waiting? It might take just a minute. Okay, so Maggie said, I'm horrible with sharing. I internalize shame when I slip up. I need to share to help get me out of a funk. Maggie, that is actually so amazing and aware of you to realize. This could be an entire podcast episode in and of itself. I actually was just talking, I talk with friends a lot about this, but that is a big deal. When we don't share, when we don't get things off of our chest, when we aren't vulnerable and we don't let people in, it does add an element of shame to our life, no matter what it is. If we're slipping up or if we're just struggling. And that shame is actually one of the worst things for us. It is what leads us back into our detrimental behavioral patterns. And oftentimes will make us repeat mistakes that we made before in our life. So I love that you just brought that up. Guys, vulnerability is hard. It takes a lot of courage and it's scary because we think, what are people going to think of me when I tell them X about me, or I say this, or I share my emotions, or I share my feelings? But the more we are able to share those feelings, the more permission we are giving other people to open up and share as well. Really, really, really big deal. Great question. I Sharon, I know, shame, not a good thing. Yolanda, how do I stay consistent and how do I stay motivated? Very, very simple. I do two things. Oh, hold on.
Is he
Is he on? Oh, it's me. I think you invited your guys, bear with me for one sec. How do I get you out of here? There we go. You're out. Um, nope, still not on. All right, guys. Oh, he's right here. He's right there. Do we need to make him a? Are we just having a major technical? Is that what guys? I think the platform is kind of messed up today for some weird reason. This is not an us thing. Bear with us. Okay, so I'm going to answer. How do I stay consistent? How do I stay motivated? And here's the thing, guys. If for some reason we can't get Andy on, we'll have him on again. And I'll just sit here and I'll answer all of your questions. So you guys get them out right now. Consistent, motivated. Two very simple things that I do. Number one, I follow routine. I am a creature of habit. If it's not a routine, like if I'm not doing something consistently and I'm thrown off or I just am going with the flow, and I can go with the flow, but I know the power of routine for me. Like for example, I know every single morning, a marshmallow dream bar and a protein shake works for me. Just that simple element of routine and consistency and understanding what's coming next kind of sets me in a groove and I can handle whatever else comes my way, keeps me consistent. I love it. I am a creature of habit, like to the max, which then, because I'm pretty habitual with what I do, I can take when something from left field hits me. I'm okay with it. So I'm like, you know what? For the most part, I have my habits, I have my routines. I know what I can go back to. I know what home feels like for me. The second thing, and probably the most powerful thing that I do to stay consistent and motivated, it's so simple, guys. I live by what Chris and I have always taught, the power promise. And if you don't know what a power promise is, you need to understand it. And it's something I should do an entire webinar or an entire session just on power promises. It is super important. So, power promise, guys, it is something everybody should know what their power promise is. It's something that's so stupidly simple. You know, you can do every single day. When you choose a power promise, it is something that will never change. It won't. So, for example, my power promise, what is something that I know I commit? It's baby steps. I shrink down my commitments to something so small. I know I can win and I know I can dominate my day with that one simple thing. So, for me, my power promise is simply making my bed. I know it sounds stupid and ridiculous, but I swear that element of winning, that element of making and keeping a promise to myself every single day, and having it be something that I know I can keep, it starts my day off with a win. Like every single day, I wake up. All I have to do is something so simple. Literally takes me 20 seconds, maybe 30. Make my bed. I am winning for the day. So everything after that is a win. A lot of people, their power promise might be drink an extra quart of water a day. Maybe their power promise is to move deliberately for 5 minutes a day. Maybe their power promise is, for a lot of people, I had a girl that lost 150 pounds with her power promise being brush my teeth. I know it sounds so simple. It's like, what does brushing your teeth have to do with weight loss? Has absolutely nothing to do with a calorie deficit. I mean, unless you're kind of looking at the idea that putting something minty in your mouth is going to suppress your cravings, which it can and it will. But really, what it has everything to do with is showing that human, that person, that she can make and keep promises to herself. Because for so long, guys, all of us in our lives, and I'm no stranger to it. We make and keep and make and keep and make, no, I'm sorry, make and break and make and break and make and break promises. It's the try and fail approach over and over and over. And we end up not believing in ourselves after a while. That is a break in our integrity. When we have a break in our integrity, it leads to a lack of dignity, which is self-love. And when we don't love ourselves, we don't believe ourselves anymore. And when we don't believe ourselves, we don't make those promises anymore. And so, guys, for me, the element of making and keeping a power promise is so huge in motivation, because if I believe I can do something, I'm going to be motivated to take action. If I don't believe I can do something, if I feel like I'm doomed from the beginning, I'm not going to want to take action at all. And I have those days. I have those days where I wake up and I'm like, gosh, I have no motivation. I'm down and out because XYZ, ABC, all this stuff is happening. Usually I can track that feeling of hopelessness back to a break in my integrity. And if I can't, it's something where, I made a promise and I didn't keep it to myself. And if I can't, which it's there, but I just can't find it. I know by simply reverse engineering it and flipping it around and saying, hey, what is a promise I can make to myself that I know I can keep? What win can I create for myself today? And by creating a win and knowing that I can make a promise, I can keep that promise and I'm winning, we create something we call integrity momentum. We are building up momentum. We feel good. And when we have momentum, we are motivated. We can keep going. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so someone says, Maggie says her power promise is getting water in every single day. Susan posted a link. It's a really, really great blog. Please go in and try that, or go read that blog. I think you're really going to like it. Petra says, hi from Czech Republic. I lost 7 kilos. Tips to keep weight off. Okay, so first of all, Petra, you should be following our app, Transform app. It's really amazing. We have a whole maintenance program in there. But I'm going to steer away from the idea of calories in, calories out, and exercise, and explain to you that the most important part, I think, about maintenance is having realistic expectations. So we're going to dive into the heart and the mind, because those really are the most important things, whether you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, maintain weight. Petra, let's talk about maintaining weight. And for everybody on here, we need to know that so often, I bet so many people on here have made it to their goal and they've gained the weight back, right? And I think the biggest reason people do this is they don't have expectation that when they get to the finish line, the journey's still going. Like they think, when I get there, when I reach 150 pounds, when I reach 200 pounds, when I reach 120 pounds, whatever your goal is, then I'm going to be happy. Then I'm going to be cured. Then all is going to be right in the world and this and that. Well, what happens is if you're more focused on the goal and not the journey, and every single day you wake up and you're focusing on, oh my gosh, I got to get there. I got to get there. I got to look good in my swimsuit. I got to get to that end, which you should be striving for that goal, but you also need to be appreciating the journey along the way, what you're learning about yourself, how strong you're becoming, all of the non-scale victories. You need those to lean back on, because when you get there, you're going to realize life still happens. Life is still hard, and holy crap, like now I made it to my goal. I got to maintain it. You have to be ready for that. And you have to know that when you get there, you need to have another goal in mind. So Petra, if you lost your weight, I'm going to ask you this right now. What is your goal? What are you currently working on? If you're sitting here saying, I don't have one, you better find one. Because I'm just telling you, if you don't have a goal, whether it's maybe to run a 5K or a 10K or swim, do some kind of a race or do a triathlon, you're going to really struggle to keep your weight off. And I highly recommend that your goal is something outside of a number on the scale. It needs to be. I think that should be a secondary goal. But your primary goal should be something that makes you a better person, makes you more fit, makes you more active. Like, in fact, I'm going to do an entire webinar on this pretty soon. But your goal, I want it to be like a soul goal, like something that speaks to your soul, something that is deep from within, like something that like an identity-based goal, something that tells you and helps you be the person that you want to be.
Hey.
made this work. Andy,
We
why
made it.
styling? Like, why do you look like so just, you got to
Oh,
dress, you style me?
I'm trying to be like you. Heidi's
What,
always
basic,
done up perfect.
I just basic tank tops and a couple necklaces and the guns. That's it. That's all that I
Oh, do
bring
that
anywhere I
again. Do that
go.
again. Flex on them again. Yeah.
I was actually trying to look back um, to my photos in 2016. I was
Yeah.
hoping we had like a flexing shot of us.
You know what? I was looking too. I think there's a picture of
Yeah.
all of us at like a dinner of us
Okay.
flexing. I remember you had your abs.
I didn't show my abs. I didn't show my
Oh,
abs.
yes, you did. Yeah, you did.
It doesn't take a lot. I'm like, no, no, no. Okay, okay.
Oh, darn it. Okay.
That is so funny. No shame in the game. No shame. How are you?
I'm doing great. I mean, sleepless
Good.
nights right now, but I'm
Okay,
doing
so
well.
how old's your baby?
A,
I
a
love
month
that you
old
just said.
as of yesterday.
Oh my gosh,
I can't
1 month old.
I can't even believe a month has went by that fast.
It did. I feel like it was just like last week that you text me and Chris a picture of your
Yeah.
new little one. Are you, so how old is your oldest?
7. I literally just
7.
did an Instagram post of her. Look at when you get a
Oh,
chance.
okay.
She's so ripped. She is my most consistent workout buddy in the entire
I
family.
love that. That is so cute. I think you're gonna have a workout buddy for life in that. It means a lot to
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, and it's here's the crazy part is once you've made it fun for them,
Yeah.
then they want to do it all the time. And it's time for bonding. And now
Yeah.
she holds me accountable. Even
I
though I'm going to
love
get my
that.
workout in, she's coming to me, Dad, when are you working out today? When are you going to work out? I'm like, don't you worry. We're going to work out.
I love that so much. And is it something for you? Was that just, and I actually planned on talking about this a little bit later, but I want to know, like,
Yeah.
did you just set the example for them or did you make them work out?
No, I literally just modeled it for them because
Yeah.
I would never want to push it on anyone or any of the
Yeah.
kids. I just do it.
Yep.
And then they see dad, they hear dad goes to the gym.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I started doing a lot of, obviously with quarantine, a lot of home workouts and shadow
Yeah.
boxing. And kids love
Yeah.
to swing at stuff. So
They do. Yeah, that's something I realize a lot of people would say, "Hey, how do you get your kids to work out? Like I want them to be fit and active." And I love that that was your response because for me it's the same. It's like the I know the more I'm pushed into something, the less likely I am to want to do it. And same goes with kids. You can
absolutely.
preach till you're blue in the face, but unless you're actually being that example, your kids aren't
Yeah.
going to do it. And your kids look at you like the Superman that you are. You truly are. You're a superhero
Thank
to
you.
them, and they want to be you. You set such a great example. I think you're the epitome of a great dad.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
mean, truthfully, I remember seeing my dad be just my first superhero.
yeah,
And I've always at a young age thought, you know what, I want to be like my dad one day and
yeah.
model what he's modeled and try to, show love to my kids the way my dad did it. He literally wrote out the blueprint for me to just follow.
Oh, that was actually. It's funny. That's a question I had for you because I feel like who we are is it's the result of a lot of different things in our lives, and for many of us, who how our parents raised us and who they were to us does shape and mold the person that we are. And you are I love the person that you are in this world. I love the example that you
Mm.
are. I'm like honored that Chris and I get to be your friends and now Derek. I want to know like what influence did your parents have on who you are today? A little
That's a
bit
great
about your
question.
background.
Yeah, my mom is from Trinidad, so I'm half black and Trinidadian.
Oh
And
wow.
my dad was in the military. He went into the military early. My mom and dad got married at 18. The
No
military,
way.
yeah, they moved to Hawaii. My dad was also a huge athlete. He was great
Okay.
in football, basketball, swimming. He still holds a swimming record in Ohio, which is crazy. And then in Hawaii, my mom and dad were major martial artists,
Okay.
crazy martial artists. He was like number 2 in Hawaii. He looked up to Bruce Lee. Now, here's a crazy story. all of us would do martial arts in the basement, right?
Yeah.
And my mom was a savage. And moms, for some reason, have
Huh.
no chill. Have no
No,
chill.
they don't.
Especially when they have boys.
I
So we're
know.
down in the basement and we're sparring. And my mom and dad made us put our football helmets on just in case, we
Yes.
fall and hit our heads. So my mom's like, "You're up." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm not going to hit you." And she was like, "You won't have time to hit me." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Is that right? Okay." So I step up and I'm like trying to feel her out. And before I can even blink, she does a roundhouse kick, hits me right here in my chest, and lifts me off the ground. And I'm literally in the air like this. And I hit the back of a desk, flip over the desk. And from that point on, I knew mom was nothing to mess with. But
With my mom. So how old were you at the time?
oh, I was 10.
Okay. But that fear that she instilled in you
Yeah.
lasted through high school, I bet. And you always were like, I don't mess with mom. Like, she's gonna hurt me.
It lasted till 12:27 p.m. right now.
That is so great. I love that. That is
Oh, yes.
I've had a couple incidences with my 15 with Maddox. So Maddox really respects me, and he respects me
Yes.
because a couple times I've had to show him like
Mhm.
who is boss. Like, buddy, don't mess with me. No physical
Absolutely.
abuse. I have Derek just said it. I have no chill. And it actually the one time I got on him and I showed him, this must have been like what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So Maddox was like 11 or 12. To this day, we just spoke about it yesterday. He's now 6'2", still
I
scared of me.
see him. Hey, I believe it. I'm
Do
6'4",
you
and my mom's 5'8", and let me tell you,
that
I'm
is
not crossing mom.
I know. And actually it was Derek coming home from science camp, and Derek's like, he was with Maddox and he said, Maddox was so disrespectful to me. I literally marched my butt out to the
Mhm.
casino where Maddox was, and I instilled the fear of mom in him, which was a big deal, and he's still scared of me.
It's a must. It's a must. You
I
have
love
to.
it. So that is as a result. So was that a defining moment for you where you knew you wanted to go into the fitness industry, or
No.
okay.
The defining moment for me was my dad had diabetes. So my dad, we found out he had diabetes, and obviously throughout time, growing up, he didn't know. At the time, he didn't know a bunch all the information that we have that's readily available to us through Google and everything, that wasn't there for him. And so my dad had to literally just endure and go through that. And me watching it was heartbreaking. Watching my superhero have to go through dialysis, watching my superhero shed tears because he was not the same anymore, watching my superhero have to go through a lot of issues. And then what's crazy, as you know, diabetes can cause other issues that are linked. So now you're
Yeah.
taking medicine with that's to take care of another ailment, which is causing another
Yeah.
ailment.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I just was like, you know what? I want to be not only an example, but I want to be able to help as many people as I can through my lifestyle, and then help teach them how to have a healthy lifestyle. It's one thing to just put it out there and say, follow this. But it's one thing to teach people to actually live a healthier lifestyle, because you can impact so many more people doing that, because now they know how to live a healthier lifestyle. They teach their family. They can teach their friends in their sphere of influence.
I love that. How old were you as you were going through this with your dad?
High school. I was in high
Okay.
school and I was getting ready to, I had just got a scholarship to play football at Miami. And once I was in college, that's really when he was dealing with a lot of it. And so when I would come back home, I'm seeing my dad, I'm seeing the same dad. And then each year I'm seeing him like change a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that was the part where I was just like, oh man, this is rough. And the way he handled it was just beautiful.
Oh gosh.
Super
I
even
mean,
keel.
great example. I That is a scary moment though. And to see your parents who you look up to for your entire life, and still do, you know. Is your dad still
Absolutely.
alive?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just see them change and see age actually impact. That was a really, really, really hard thing for me with my dad.
Hmm.
Um, and honestly, those are the defining moments. It's like I feel like defining moments oftentimes are connected to your realization about mortality in a sense, right? It's
Yeah.
like, hey,
Absolutely.
this life, at least that we know it, there's an end to our body, right?
Yeah.
Not our soul, hopefully, and whatever you believe and beyond, but at least to this body that we have. And I think understanding that for me, and it sounds like for you, it's like, okay, we have one body that we know of.
Right.
And how can I take care of mine and help others take care of theirs so they don't have to experience and go through the heartache, whether it's personally or through watching a loved one like you did with your dad?
Right. And you know what, you bring up a great point with the mortality thought process. Like
Yeah.
I even think about right now during these times, you know how you're like, you know what, maybe after quarantine I'll get in better shape. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll get in better
Yeah.
shape later on.
Yeah.
Every waking second, minute, hour,
Yeah.
day, week, month, we're getting closer to the end.
I
You
know.
you know that's just it's almost morbid to think, but you're getting
Yeah.
closer rather than being birthed like our little baby Ava,
I
it's
know.
and so the more you push it back,
Yeah.
the less time you have to enjoy the beautiful, healthy body that you do have right now and the health that you have. So it's one of those things to take advantage. It's like, no, why wait? Because
Yeah.
you wait and then a year comes around and you're in
Yes.
the same position or
Yes.
worse than you were the year before. And that's just a
Amen.
rough thing. So it's just like if you've been on the border, on the brink of, I should get started, maybe I should start doing this training or joining this team to get better. Don't wait, just do it.
It's like
Just do it.
no sense in diet starts Monday. Diet starts now. It's kind of like, yeah. I mean, that's a big deal, and I think it's important to think of that with regard to health and fitness, and also life in general. It's like, hey,
Yes.
don't say you're going to be a better mom or a better dad when you reach your goal in work. Be that now because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You also you only have so many minutes on earth. You really do. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and also making choices and taking risks and following your heart and doing things that are scary. It's like we get so nervous of failing or not being able to reach that goal, but the reality is we only have one shot that we know of, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, gosh, take advantage of what we have now and really go for what it is that you want in this life. I think it's so important to understand that, you know?
Right. I mean, it's just unfair that Nike took that phrase, just do it. You
Freaking,
know?
I thought of that. They owe me
I'm like,
royalties on that. Speaking of
man.
Nike, we're going to move over to Reebok because
Yes.
that is where Chris and I got to meet you. So in 2000, I thought it was 2015. Wasn't it 2015?
It was 2015, but then
You
the
were
act
chosen
I started in
2016.
2016, yeah.
Okay.
Because it was
Okay. So
November. It was November we met in 2015.
maybe that's why I couldn't find the pictures. I need to look in the right
Mm.
year in my phone. My note said 2016 because we had looked it up online, but it was 2015 that it happened. You were announced in 2016. So
Correct, yeah.
Reebok was holding this contest. They were looking for the face of Reebok, and you were one of many people that came, like really incredible people. One of them being Alexia Clark, who is obviously has a
Yes.
massive following now. She's the queen of workout. She's just exploded since, really business savvy. And
Yeah.
how many days did we spend together, Andy? Do you remember?
Yeah, we spent 4 days together.
4 days together. We did a lot of workouts. You led workouts. You guys did. We got to really see who you were, feel your character,
Yeah.
experience your character, and just your overall energy and hear your desire to help people. And I have to say, there were some really great contenders. Is that the right word? Contenders, contestant. There were some really great people
Yeah.
in the running for the face. And Andy, from the beginning, I have to say, for Chris and myself, and Jamie Eason was one of the judges back then. That's how I got to know Jamie. Um,
Yeah.
you were a front runner from the beginning. And the biggest reason it's like,
Wow.
gosh, like not only do you look the part, sometimes that can be a little off-putting because you can see somebody look the part and there can be somewhat of an intimidation factor and a preconceived assumption that maybe, you have everything that would make ego go to somebody's head. Like you have everything that would create it.
Thank
And
you.
however, there's no ego with you. Like you are such a good soul, a really great person,
Thank
and just
you.
so kind and accepting and open and coachable and positive. And you have like your priorities were in line. And I know those were the things that stood out to us from the very beginning with you. It was really hard. Again, so many great contenders, but we kept going back to you
Absolutely.
because of the person you were. And in my mind, I remember thinking, okay, if I was Reebok, like who would I want representing my brand and my family and who I am? And
Mm,
you are one of those people. Like you're a great person. You deserved every bit of that win. Tell me about
thank
that.
you.
How did do you feel like that changed your life? What was that like?
Yeah, that was wild because it's here's the thing. So I always would, after the fact, I would always have people ask me, "How do I get sponsored? I just want to be sponsored by
Yeah.
someone." And I told them, I was like, "Guys, that can't be your end all.
Yeah.
That can't be your end all." Like I was just training clients. I was just working with people and trying to better my community. Truly, I just wanted to be the best trainer I could be in my community in
Yep.
Impact, Ventura, California, period. And
Yeah.
I had one client send me a message saying, "Hey, there's this contest with Reebok. I think you'll be great for it." And I was like, "Awesome, cool." But I'm in the thick of, I'm just in the thick of like training and grinding, trying to take care of my family. Then I get a second one. And I
Yeah.
felt like the Lord was like, "Listen to this." So I just literally went on, I sent up my pictures, did my 140 characters, put it in. Fast forward, I get an email from Reebok saying you made it to the top 12. And I was like, "What?"
How'd that happen?
And I had to ask my wife, "Look at this. Tell me if this is spam." I wasn't sure.
That is
so,
so funny.
so and I was on my way to Ohio to visit my brother because he was getting married at the time. And then Reebok's asking me to film a 2-minute video on how to be more human. I didn't have a production crew, anything. I just took my iPhone and apps and got creative. It was like my best friend I'm like, "All right, you need to hold the phone like this and roll." I mean, it was, oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So we did that, fast forward. And so that 2.5 weeks of the voting worldwide was crazy,
Yeah.
insane, because going, I would go to sleep for a couple hours, and then I have friends in China, Brazil,
Wow.
everyone. Like, okay, you get your group of people to vote. I'll be here. I'm just gonna sleep for 2 hours, get up, and it was just a grind. So fast forward, we come out there, and when I met you guys, honestly, I looked at it as this. They're human beings. They are great people. Because I looked you guys up, stalked you all on Instagram, looked at all your profile. And I just was like, okay. And then I was like, the best thing for me to do is be myself, because it'll be the horrible if I give them an avatar and I can't live up to that avatar.
Yeah.
And so going through that process, I just had fun. I was free flowing. I was myself, and I was just going to be genuine. And I looked at it as, if they like who I am and what I represent, then I'm supposed to be the face of Reebok. And I
Yeah.
went in the mindset of like, this is mine. It's still a competition.
Yep.
All of
And
them
you can
were
tell.
amazing.
You can tell. You
Yeah,
you did a really, really great job with that.
thank you. I went in there, and here's a side note that I don't even know if you guys knew this. I had torn my pec not much longer
No.
before that. Oh yeah, I had tore my pec. So I was in excruciating pain every single day. Every single day I had tore my pec, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not doing a ton of push stuff." Like we did something where I was like pulling you and Chris.
Yes, I
I don't know if you
remember
remember
that.
that, in the gym.
Yes, I
Every
do.
pull, and then I had to push you guys.
Yeah.
Every time I was like, "Oh God,
And you didn't say
oh
anything at
God."
all.
No, No, I didn't want to show any weakness. I'm like, no, I'm not showing any weakness.
Oh my
And so,
gosh,
yes,
you did amazing. You did really, really well.
thank you.
I loved it. Yeah. So one thing I learned about you then was that about your three pillars, faith, family, fitness. I love that. Can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit about it?
Uh-huh. Yes,
Why those
and
three
the
words?
order is because those are the biggest parts of my life. Faith is that's the center, the core of my life. If it's a pie, if you have a pie, and inside, let's say an apple pie,
Yeah.
inside that apple pie, the gooey goodness, that's Jesus in my life. So I
Yeah.
slice up all the slices, in each slice, if it's fitness, if it's art, if it's whatever, the core of it is that in my life. And
I love
so
that.
having that faith, that's the first thing. And then family, I love my family to death. Our family is tight knit. My wife's my best friend. I love her to death.
Oh.
Not only is she hot, she's also my best friend. So I have friends with benefits.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
Yes. And then clearly I love fitness. I've always loved fitness. I used to tell my wife all the time, if I could just get paid to just do fitness and post videos and help people, I would love it. And so
I love that.
that's why it's in that order.
I love it. I love it. It's really, really cool. One thing I want to talk about. So you recently did a podcast on microaggression, which I actually had never heard about before, ever. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's very relatable and relative to today's environment. And I believe the title was
Mm,
called "What is Microaggression?" For those of you or
yeah.
those people that have not heard about the podcast, can you tell us a little more about it? I love the statement you made. You said these microaggressions have macro implications of impact. Explain a little bit about this.
Yes.
Like, what is this? Why is it important? Why should people pay attention?
Yeah. And with microaggression, some people don't even know they're doing it. We
Yeah. I
all do it in
explain what it
some
is. What
form
is
or fashion.
microaggression?
Yeah, microaggression is the voluntary or involuntary slight little biases or even racist bias towards other people where you're literally showing devaluing. You're devaluing that person. You don't value where they're at. Their content or information is not valid. And so we do it with little slight snarky comments, body language, or how we even view people. And in our, like, for example, if if an Asian man speaking to you and you're like, wow, you speak great English.
Yeah.
They're from the US. What other language would they speak? But in your mind, you automatically think, oh, they wouldn't speak great English.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another one would be, like some people would view black women as hard to deal with, or black people are aggressive. There's these small microaggressions that we have towards people and don't realize it. I was in a place where I I was let go from a place as a top trainer in the company. So, and it's not tooting my own horn, it's just facts, And
Yeah.
so you can see with my clientele, my books were packed, and then the manager brings me in one day out of nowhere and just says, "Hey, you're not the right fit for us."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you mean I'm not the right fit?" And that's language, with them saying, "Hey, you don't fit in with us here, and we don't have to tell you, obviously, why we're letting you go. We're going to let you go, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is." And so I'm
Wow.
sitting there taken aback, like, this is
Yeah.
crazy. And this
Yeah.
goes on through our world all the time. And it's just, we have to pay attention to our own biases that we have that we don't realize that lay there. If
Yeah.
you don't start with your own self, just with fitness, right? How are you going to know when you want to get in shape?
Yeah.
You got to look at yourself first and say, hey, you're not in the shape that you want to be. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. I need to work on me. It's on me. I'm the one that's putting the food in my mouth. I'm the one laying around. I'm the one not getting up. I'm the one that's causing this with myself. Once you can start with yourself, then you can start getting help. And so a lot of the times people don't look within and notice those microaggressions that they have towards other people.
Yeah, I actually really love that. And what you just said, I think strikes a chord with me because I think right now the world, many of us aren't quite sure what to do, how to help, what to post, and a lot. There's some over posting going on, and people trying to help, right? But you just said something
Mm-hmm.
so valuable. It's like the best way to help sometimes is not by preaching. The best way to help is by going and finding a mirror, looking in that mirror,
Mm-hmm.
analyzing where we might be wrong, understanding and acknowledging maybe what we don't know, and educating ourselves and working on ourselves first. And you brought up the perfect example. It's like when you are in need of a physical change or a transformation or to become healthier, we don't start by posting all these workouts and acting like we're professionals, because we're not in fact professionals. We start by getting feedback and seeing what we can change within ourselves and making changes on ourselves. And as those changes work or sink in or resonate,
Yeah.
then we share. And I love about what I love what you've been posting. You've been posting really valuable content to kind of guide people to, I hate to use the word self-diagnose, but really analyze and look into, hey, here's where you might be able to look, or here's where you might be able to improve. Here's how you might be able to help. I appreciate that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
very self-reflective, very helpful stuff.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you have to be in a place of humility to impact
Yeah,
people. Truly.
you do.
You have prideful people that do make impacts, but at the end of the day, they put a cap over themselves
Yeah,
because they're not willing to get constructive feedback on themselves. They feel like they've arrived.
yeah,
Obviously, you, as a fitness expert, if you would never bring in more information or learn consistently, you'll stifle yourself. We all will stifle ourselves, keep ourselves from growth when we're prideful and we don't want to keep learning on a regular
yeah.
basis. And that's with people, learning people.
Yeah, I agree. It's like I always feel like the best coaches have coaches, and the second you stop learning is the second you
Yes.
start dying in your profession. Like, and the second I think I know it all is the second people should stop listening to me because I don't know it all. And honestly, this is one of the reasons I love having guests on. Every single time I have somebody on, I feel like I'm learning more and more. Like I didn't understand the concept of microaggression until I listened to that podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it was something that was so powerful with me. I hope everybody listening can kind of grasp onto that and understand and look in the mirror, because I do think it's easier to say things and to think things without even realizing it, because it's something, like you said, is so
Yes.
almost ingrained in us culturally. um, and
Yes.
I think we can all, to an extent, we can all probably look at ourselves and think, okay, I've experienced that in some way, shape, or form. And I love that you said it's not limited to race. It's all sorts of things, all sorts of things in life. And I think it's very important that we understand it, maybe analyze where we might be feeling it so that we can empathize and have compassion for what and how we might be casting it upon other people. And really that quote
Right.
was so awesome. These microaggressions have macro implications of impact. Can you
Thank you.
explain that a little bit
Yeah.
more?
Yeah, because it's little things. It's those little snarky, sly comments or
Yeah,
actions. Like if I step into an elevator and a white lady clutches her purse a little bit more,
yeah,
just not realizing she just does it. Now she is like falling victim to this fear that maybe was placed on her from family or from the media, whatever it is. However, now you never know who that other person is. That other person could have had a horrible day. A horrible day. Know that microaggressions happening. May not know what the actual title is, but that black guy
yeah.
standing there and he sees that and he's like,
I
maybe I should
know.
give her something to be. Let me give her something to really be scared of. Like it's just
Yeah.
those. They're
And
like little cuts, and that
yeah.
you don't realize that. For example, the major implication of it is if you told me I don't fit there, I'm going back home. I'm a confident, strong,
Yeah.
loving black man. Now I'm going home questioning myself. Now there's insecurity of like, do I not fit in? Now it's
And
playing in the back of
yeah,
my mind, and I'm going through other situations before I go into it, having to fight that wall that's right there. No, I am worth it. I do fit in. I don't have to be like you. You just have to give me a chance.
and it's impacting how you father. It's impacting how you are in your house, how you are in your home, how you
Yes.
raise your kids, how your kids then become the adults and the humans that they are. And it's instilling, I mean, in every example you gave, it instills a sense of insecurity that you and people shouldn't have to deal with just because of
Right.
these little bits of microaggression, because of somebody else not understanding how their comments, actions are impacting other people.
Yeah. It's a
You,
powerful thing, and so it just
yeah,
goes on forever.
yeah, yeah. You shared 5 really powerful steps at the end of the podcast. Do you mind going through those with our people?
Sure. Yeah, the first one was be more empathetic to people as a human race, period.
Yeah,
Just imagine, even if you deal with any type of bias or racism, if you had more empathy towards the human race, period, on a regular basis, you'll
yeah,
have a bigger heart for a lot of these issues that are going on, and you're going to think twice. Like when George Floyd was laying there and you watched him, if you've seen the video, from 10 minutes, you watch him go from life to death. Black, white, it doesn't matter who he was. If you felt bad for a human being going from life to death, that should impact you. That should
yeah,
hurt you. That should destroy your heart in the sense of like, this is terrible. You should be outraged in the sense of this is not right.
yeah,
It, obviously, him being black was a whole different level of it. But having an empathetic heart for people is going to help you view people differently of all walks of life. Number two, I think, was be more aware of your biases. Yes,
hmm,
be more aware of your biases. So I mentioned it earlier. You need to pay attention to yourself. Have a sit down, look at yourself in the mirror, and it's just you. No one's judging you at the moment. That's where the beauty can come from. That's where success starts, is you being able to look at yourself in the mirror. You know what? I have a bias in that. I have a bias in that. So now I want to be better. So I'm going to intentionally think before I talk. I'm going to
yes.
think about my actions. I'm going to think about how I carry myself and how I treat people. Three is be open to have difficult conversations from a place of humility. That's going to be, I mean, that you could take with your marriage. That you could
I
take,
love that.
you go into, it's like communication's huge.
It is
But if you,
everything.
it's everything. If you literally would just say, you know what, I'm going to come from a place to understand.
Yeah,
I'm going to come from a place to understand, not to make you understand me. I'm going to come to a place to understand you and hear
yeah,
you out. If I come with humility, then I can receive and actually be able to
yeah.
help be better. My wife, for example, if I like, she she likes to do laundry a certain way, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, she likes to do laundry a certain way. And then for a while there, I'm just like, she'll do it, she'll fold the clothes, and then I would just move it to a different area and it'll just be piling up. And then it'll annoy her. Then she's like, you just do your own laundry, you know? And
Yeah,
it took time for me to, like, she could tell me to do it, but doesn't mean I'm gonna change. It had to happen within me where I'm like, you know what? I don't even like having my clothes out. So
yeah.
I needed to change within, move my clothes, and then that's when change actually starts. And
I
so
love
it's
that.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Um,
That whole to be understood first you must understand. And so kind of
yeah.
that's yeah. Yeah, for yeah, I mean and yeah, I mean that was a perfect example of that. And then what's number
And
4?
yeah, four is realize you can't change overnight. It will take time for you to truly
Amen.
make a change. Simple as that. And then five, which is a bonus within five, is listen, learn, locomote. So listen, be a pro at listening. learn. Like right now, people are speaking and talking, learn.
Yeah.
And then locomote. Then you can start moving and make changes and impacting people. And the best way you can impact our world is not jumping into the macro view of it. It's
Yeah.
your sphere of influence at home, the people you know, impact them around you, and then they will go out and impact people. And then that's how you're going to make a change in this world.
I love that. I love that you essentially just summed up in 5 great points, kind of the conversation that we had. Those are really, really good. So be more empathetic, be more aware of your biases, be open to having difficult conversations from a place of humility, realize you can't change overnight, and listen,
Yeah.
learn, and then locomote in your areas of life. I love those. Thank you so much, Andy. I think everybody watching this has a lot they can learn from that. Now, before I go too far, I do want to make sure uh, some of the people watching might remember when I posted on my Instagram that you had lost your Instagram account. So I want everybody on here, everybody watching, uh, to go follow Andy. Andy, what is your Instagram?
Andy L. Dooley. Dooley.
Andy L.
Andy L.
Dooley.
Dooley.
Yes. It used to be Andy Dooley, right? Had to change that.
No, yeah, I had to. It was Andy L. Dooley. I lost it, had to change it, and then finally got my old name back.
Wait, got your old name back. Did you get all your followers back?
No. No. It was a nightmare. I
No.
finally another friend who was an influencer connected me with someone on Instagram. They went in and they were trying to locate my account. It was
Yeah.
gone off the grid,
No.
wiped away.
Ah.
The only thing they were able to do was give me my name back.
That's crazy. Now, the reason I bring this up is a lot of people, when we post things like when someone loses their account, like some of the comments you'll get back are like, "Oh, too bad you lost all your followers. Sorry, you can't have your ego back." And I think people don't understand it has nothing to do with the amount of followers and everything to do with this is what you and we all work so hard for. We work hard to influence
Absolutely.
people. You know, like obviously you have a really strong why and a really powerful um, reason, purpose for what you're doing. And for you to lose those people, to lose that account, it's like you've lost your entire community of people, number one, that you're impacting. Number two, that's how you feed your family. You know, that is your work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of like somebody coming in and burning down your shop. Like that's essentially what happened. Your
Yes.
shop was burned down and you didn't have
Yes.
insurance, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I,
I
yeah.
mean, go ahead.
No, I was,
Yeah.
how did that impact you?
Big time. It was a nightmare. It caught me off guard. And it was just like you said, it was like someone robbed my storefront. And
Yeah.
what's funny, it's not really funny, but that same day I had just signed 4 deals with brands, which if you guys don't understand, it's so there's a follower number that the brands will look at. They'll say, okay, from 0 to 10K, this is how much you can get paid.
Yeah.
From 1099 up to 20 something K, this is where you get paid. So I was at 22.3K. And so that's what my monetary value was to them because of this is what your community is. I sign
Yeah.
those deals. I get hacked. Literally the next day I
Oh,
lose all those deals.
no,
Yes,
Andy.
yes, I'm so serious. And here's the crazy part. We just moved to Washington. So we just did a huge move cross country. To
Wow.
all the Washingtonians, love you guys. And then COVID hit. So I was furloughed. So now I'm
Ah,
not working at my gym. Then I get hacked. And so I'm thinking, prior, I'm like, okay, with the brands and stuff like that, I can
yeah.
take care of my family. We are pregnant at the time. Really, my wife's pregnant. We're about to
Yeah.
have a baby. And all of these things has happened. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm sitting here in my room like, oh,
Oh
this is
my
crazy.
gosh. Oh my gosh,
And
Andy.
trying to get a hold of Facebook or Instagram is a bear.
It
And it
is.
wasn't until a month after I got my name back.
Oh
And
wow.
because to me, honestly, it was like, it wasn't even about the number. It was more of,
No.
I had a community of people. As
Yeah.
most people who are on here that follow me, you guys know, I do my best to try to comment to every comment that you guys leave. And I create a community for all of us to be cohesive and help each other just grow and build and have
Yeah.
accountability or have someone that supports. And so with that happening, that was just rough. And so even up to this point, there are a couple brands that come to me. I could make this, but I am
Yeah.
no longer at my 20K. And so because I mean, there are some brands who are like, oh, because you're at 5K right now, we can only give you product.
Oh,
That,
see, that's so
guys,
hard.
like,
That
that's
doesn't
not feeding the
help.
family.
Yeah, no,
No.
it really it does not feed the family. And I mean, I am a believer, Andy, that when it rains, it pours, and when it pours, that is truly the basis for growing the best fruits that we can grow in our life.
Mm,
And you have truly gone through a lot. And I know for me, the hardest points in my life have been the ones where I've come out even stronger on the other side. It's almost like you're being forced into cocoon, right? You're cocooning and you're about to
yeah.
come out this big, beautiful, amazing butterfly. And I think you are. And I love that you have not given up, that you have been like everything has been piled on you, everything, and you're still going. You know you are 3 feet from gold. Have you ever heard that 3 feet from gold
Yes,
thing?
I've seen that picture. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's floated around Instagram for years now. It's one of my favorite things, and it is my reminder that every breakdown leads to a breakthrough if we are strong enough to keep powering through. And no, you are no what's the word? I can't even think of it. You're no different. Like you
I
are doing
appreciate
great
that.
things. You're going to keep doing great things. I'm grateful to be friends with you, and I'm here for you no matter what. I
And,
really
and
am.
can I
I'm proud.
can I say this? Can I say this? Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm one person that even when I first showed up at the Reebok competition, I am one that will scan the room
yeah,
and watch people and discern, and
yeah.
then I pay attention to their actions. Heidi, your actions have literally echoed everything you're saying right now. I do know you're for me. And truthfully, it's like you didn't have to get on your Insta story
Mm.
and give such a heartfelt, you know, message to your following, your community, to let them know what happened with me and to share your community with me. I am honored and blessed that you would do
No,
such a thing. And truthfully, it only made sense. The people that came over, all of those guys, all of you guys that are on here that follow me, that came over from Heidi, it only makes sense. You guys are exactly the kind of community members I would want to be a part of. And
you're
so your people being a part of my community is a blessing.
you're giving me chills. Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. And I do have the best. I have the and now
You
we have the
do.
best
We
community. We
do.
together, we
Yes.
share. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about. Oh,
Yeah, I
well,
would
Andy,
literally go on yours and I would literally comment on a lot of the people's comments
you're
to
so
you.
awesome. You are so awesome. I appreciate that. It's people helping people. I always say
Yes.
there's room for all of us at the top. There are, right? Why not lift everybody up and elevate and let's just make a top full of people that are full of great intentions. And you are one of
Empowering
them.
people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I know you have a giveaway you're doing today. Yes? A
Yes,
giveaway for all the
I
people
do.
on here. Let's talk about it. Tell us about it. What do we give? Okay.
Walk Walk in Faith. This right here is my first book that I did over a year ago. It's called Walk in Faith, a 5-minute devotional for teen guys. And it was my first book. And to my surprise, it is taken off. But there's 150 different devotionals in here that's supposed to be from the range of kids from 11 to college age, right? Every single one in here, I was writing to someone or sharing my
Wow.
story. It's so powerful. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn because it's one of those books that, you know what? I want to leave a legacy with everything I do. I want to leave a legacy for my kids. This will outlast me. And so I put my heart and soul with everything I do. And if you want a cheat sheet for your kids, your boys specifically, you can also substitute yourself in that and get impacted. It's just certain things. If it's saying, hey, little Timmy, like this age group, like you're going to
Yeah.
know. However, but you can look on Amazon for yourself and see the comments that people are leaving about it and how it's impacting kids. I did this because I want to help with the generation that's coming up be better, think differently. And so I want to bless somebody with this for their family to help them walk in faith and have a cheat sheet to life alongside the Bible.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Andy. Now, for people to enter to win, okay, so Susan posted the entry stuff up there, but to enter to win, we want you to post your number one takeaway from this episode and tag both me and Andy. So I am at Real Heidi Powell and then at Andy L. Dooley, and use the hashtag Live with Heidi. So again, post your number one takeaway, tag us both, use the hashtag. So the giveaway is going to go through Monday night, 6/29 at midnight. The winner will be announced and contacted Tuesday, June 30th. So not next June, next Tuesday. It's a really long giveaway.
Right.
And you can enter as many times if you would like. So if you have 5 great takeaways, post them all. Every post counts as an entry. So Andy, thank you so much. And then guys, I want you also to know Andy has a really great podcast. It's the Do Work podcast with Andy Dooley. Go follow it. Susan or Derek, can one of you post a link in there? We'll get a link posted in here so you guys can go listen. Andy, is there anything else? Anywhere else people should be following you?
You know what? My YouTube channel, because I'm getting ready. A lot of us have been impacted by the quarantine, right?
Love it. Yeah.
So I have a new series starting here really soon called From Quarantine to Pristine. So I'm going to take you on a
I love it.
No one's obviously going to have a perfect, pristine body, but I'm going to take you on the journey of getting myself really back into the shape that I know I like to be and take you along the journey. And then in the comments, literally put your questions in there. I do whatever I can to help you along. So it's Andy Dooley Fitness on YouTube. That'd be
You're awesome. Andy, thank you so much. We will most definitely have you back again. All the people here loved having you. Thank you so much, Andy. And if there's anything I can do, to let me know.
I do. I appreciate you. I'm honored that you would have me on your show.
Oh, thank you. And to everybody watching, thank you guys so much for being here. We made it through episode 15, technical difficulties and all. And a surprise, I knew which number episode this was. This is a first for me. We'll be
powerful.
back next. I know. We'll be back next Wednesday. I don't even know what is today, the 24th, June 30th. No, June 30. Wait, June 31st? July 1st. There's no such
July
thing.
1st. Yes.
There's no such thing as June 31st. I am blonde a little bit. I'm the smartest blonde,
Absolutely.
July 1st, we will be back. We have Whitney Jones coming on next week. She is Miss Fitness Olympia.
Awesome.
Until next time, Andy, you better tune in next week. You better tune in.
I will. I'll be lighting up the comment section.
Yes.
And by the way, I love your TikToks.
Oh, you need to teach me how to dance. Can we just say that?
I can help. I can actually help.
I got the TikTok queen over here. Come here, Mars. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Oh, yes. She's always practicing.
Trying on sports bras right now. But no, swimsuit. No, Ruth, Mars, put your head down so they can say TikTok queen.
Hey, girl.
Say hi. All right, I'll let you go, Andy. Oh, there we go. Hold on, Andy. Teach me one. That's the Macarena, right? But
that's all it is the Macarena. There you go.
Oh, I need to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, we got to get the whoa down. It's just a slight.
Oh, it's just. Wait, do that again.
So. Just like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, there you and see, because you have a tricep, you can hit them with the just like that.
Derek is over here laughing at me. Is that the whoa? I got the bicep.
Hey, that's all you gotta do is flex on them. Let them know.
I know.
You guys are
Andy,
awesome.
Thank you so much. You are amazing. We'll talk soon.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Okay, bye guys.